Hi everybody, and welcome back to another day, Tuesday. We'll start out today by going over what you're going to be doing for my class. So you're going to start out, obviously, by watching this video. Hopefully you're doing this first, and then after that you can read Chapter 7 of To Kill a Mockingbird. And remember, you can use both the audio and the text version, whatever is easier for you to be able to understand the book. And those can both be found under any of the days for this week. So yeah, you can use either one of those. And after you are done reading Chapter 7, you're going to do a few questions so I can check how well you understood Chapter 7. And then we actually have kind of a fun little activity after the questions today. I'm calling it a scavenger hunt because you're going to be needing to find some images online to copy and paste into the document. And we'll talk more about that when we're kind of previewing Chapter 7. But I'm excited to see some of the images that you guys can find to fulfill the scavenger hunt today. So that's our work for today. Let's start by going over what you all read in Chapter 6. There's Autumn again. Hello, Autumn. I think she's just part of our class now. Yeah, she's just a new classmate. So, Autumn, welcome to 8th grade. So, yeah, for Chapter 6, so the kids in Chapter 6 you read, they end up continuing their little adventure of exploring Boo Radley's house and everything, and they end up getting in quite a bit of trouble this time. It's not just a game this time. So they are peeking into windows in the house, and they end up getting startled because they see kind of a man that looks like he's wearing a hat in the window who appears. And then they actually hear gunshots. And because of that, Jem ends up getting his pants stuck on the fence, and they end up ripping off of him, and he has to run home without any pants on. And one of your questions from yesterday dealt with, what would you do if you were Jem? Would you go back and get the pants? Would you just kind of make up another excuse and tell your dad, what happened to them? And in the question, I said it kind of sounds like a silly question because they're just pants, but there are a lot of consequences either way for Jem. And so I'm recording this before I've read your answers, but I am excited to see what you guys would do or what you wrote you would do if you were Jem in this situation. So that ends up happening in Chapter 6. And then in Chapter 6, we actually learn a little bit more about Scout's neighbors and her neighborhood as a result of people hearing this gunshot. So Scout and Jem run home, and outside they find 3 of the people in the neighborhood, Miss Maudie, Miss Stephanie, and their dad, Atticus, are all gathered around. And Miss Maudie tells them, "Oh, did you guys hear that gunshot? That was Nathan Radley. That was Boo's brother. He saw somebody in their yard and he ended up shooting at them." And of course the kids know that it was them who got shot at, but the adults don't know that they were doing something they weren't supposed to do. And so the chapter kind of ends off with they haven't really told the adults what really happened, and Dill ends up making up an excuse as to why Jem's pants are gone. So we're kind of left off with, is he going to get them back? Are they going to tell the adults what really happened? We'll find out in Chapter 7, which brings me to Chapter 7. So I'm going to not give away too much because obviously I want you to read the chapter, and it's a really good book, so you should read the chapter. But here are some things you can look out for in Chapter 7. So the mystery of the pants is kind of solved in Chapter 7. You'll get to see how Jem gets them back or doesn't get them back, or what shape they're in when he gets them back. In this chapter, Scout is also going to be starting 2nd grade, And as you might imagine, based on how first grade went for her, she's still not loving school. She's just not really into it. She didn't have a good experience last year. So that's kind of the other main thing in this chapter. And then this is the next part is has to do with that scavenger hunt I was telling you about. So the kids end up finding some interesting souvenirs that they think might be left by Boo Radley. And these souvenirs are in a knot hole of a tree. So like in a tree where there's kind of like sometimes like a little cutout part or like hole in the tree that like squirrels or, you know, birds or some kind of animal could live in. They end up finding things in the tree as they're kind of walking around the neighborhood each day. And so as I was rereading it, I found 5 items that they found in the tree in chapter 7. And so there's a document on Classroom. I want you guys to, as you're reading, or you can go back after you read, try to figure out what 5 items they find in the tree. And it says in the book, you just have to kind of like pay attention and look back. And we're doing a picture scavenger hunt. So I want you to go on Google Images and find those, like type in a keyword to find a picture for each thing, copy and paste the picture into the document. And obviously, like the pictures don't have to be perfect. Some of the items are a little weird, so you might not be able to find them on Google. I did the first 2 for you, but you still need to find 5 more on your own. So the first 2 are actually from chapter 4. And so I put a picture of gum because it said they found double mint gum. So I just typed in double mint gum and I picked the first picture I saw. And they also found 2 Indian head pennies. So I typed in Indian head penny and also picked the first picture I saw. So yeah, I'm excited to see what pictures you guys can find, and if you can find all 5, hopefully you can. As you're reading today and doing your questions, if y'all have any trouble or need help, make sure that you email me or message me on Remind. I will be checking it throughout the day, especially this week now that we're into our normal classwork, so you can always message me on there and I will be sure to respond, especially between like the hours of 9 and 1, and then in the evening like between 7 and 8 I can respond right away. If you message me other times throughout the day, I might be able to respond right away, but I might also be busy doing other things. So if you don't hear back from me right away, it might be because you're not in those hours, but I will definitely try to respond as quick as I can. And if you're between those hours, it'll be right away, okay? So good luck with reading today, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.